And welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. No, I did not go live yesterday. Why did I not, or yesterday, last week. Why did I not go live last week? Well, unfortunately, during the time that I normally do my YouTube live, I unfortunately was live on Fanatics between 4 p.m. I didn't sign off until 12 midnight. So I ended up streaming for about 8 hours on a day that I normally don't plan on streaming. Usually I'm live on Thursday night. So that is the reason why I was not live last week. But have no fear. PK is here. You can put a nice little Joker smile on your face there. Well, to the title of this video, the biggest Pokemon investing secret. They don't want you to know. I have to be really, really careful at the beginning of this video because on YouTube we have something called viewer retention. This is what viewer retention looks like. When you start off your video, you get high and then you get to a point and then viewer retention just drops off a cliff. And that's what's going to happen on today's video because today is going to be the biggest reality check for most people out there. And it's going to be a reason why it's not just a secret, it's just the truth. There's no lie in this video. How do I phrase this? There are certain things in this hobby that you have control over, but you refuse to act. So while it is a secret, this is one of the things no YouTube channel ever mentions. I just want to let you guys know, there's a couple things that go on in this hobby, right? So one of the things that are really going to hurt you and most new people into the hobby are this. It's going to hurt you, but it's also going to help you. So as you enter into the hobby, the more barriers of entry you could put between you and the rest of the hobby, the better you will do personally. So real loose examples being, if you could get Japanese product cheap, that already puts a huge barrier of entry between you and everyone else in the hobby, because everyone else in the hobby, no one in at least the market we deal with, no one has direct access to Japanese distribution. Most people have to go through a middleman. So that is already a barrier of entry. And the way you could navigate around that is making contacts and getting past that middleman, and then you can actually get product for cheaper. And then because you can now get product directly from Japan, you could sell it for a little bit more on the market because there's a little bit of barrier of entry. Or if you guys are not new to the channel, everyone now loves Chinese product. Chinese product, I feel like, now has grown exponentially. We've seen what the Captain Pika can do and what the 151, either volume 1 or volume 2 with the Psyduck or volume 3 with the Gengar. It's already like the barrier of entry is lessening, but it's still there. And I love Chinese product way before everyone, but there's still a huge barrier of entry right there. The barrier of entry for Chinese product is you cannot source it. You cannot go into your local Targets or Walmart. You still have to go on to eBay. But going on to eBay, you're still going to pay whatever the secondary market price is, or maybe you'll be able to find somebody who has now created contacts in China. And there's just always barriers of entry. And whenever you want to do really, really well in this hobby, you always need something that has a little bit of barrier of entry. Now, for the average person out there, let me make it easy for you. One of the things a lot of people in this hobby love right now today are just Pokemon Center ETBs. Why does everyone love Pokemon Center ETBs? Well, there's a barrier of entry to access those. What is the very, very easy barrier of entry? Well, you need to join the Rattle Discord. And in the description of this video is a link to the Rattle Discord. And in fact, there has been a link to the Rattle Discord in the description of this video for the last about 3 years. That's a long time to have my number one. Right now, I think it's linked to Fanatics Live. You get a $25 credit. I get a $25 credit or whatever. I don't even know whatever mine is. But, you get a referral. I get a referral. But it doesn't matter. The next link is the Rattle Discord, right? So it's a barrier of entry. Why is Pokemon Center a barrier of entry? Because not everyone could get it. You have to be lucky. You have to catch the restock. You have to be able to, click on the link when Rattle posts it. You have to get through. You have to hope Pokemon Center doesn't think you are a bot, blah, blah, blah. And then what happens? Pokemon Center ETBs have just kept going up because unless you are a bot, it's really, really hard to get multiple of them, right? That is a barrier of entry, or Pokemon Center promos and stuff like this. And this is all widely accepted, okay? Remember when I talked about that viewer retention? See, this is the unfortunate reality where the viewer retention is going to drop. Because I want to let you know right now, the biggest kept secret, it is the biggest barrier of entry you will ever face. All right, you ready? Distribution. And that's it. The retention just drops off a cliff. Distribution. PK, do you know what I have to fucking do to get distribution? I have to create a company. I have to get an EIN I got to go through the federal government and get an employee tax identification number. I have to apply through my local state. I have to set up a business bank account. I have to decide if I'm going to be an LLC or an S Corp. And then after I do all that, and I have to go through my state and the federal, and I have to create this bank account, and I got to go through business and then taxes, BK. Taxes are fucking scary. I don't want to pay taxes. You want me to run as a legit business? And then, but PK, you don't realize this. This is 2025. No distributors are taking on new accounts. Well, that's not really true, but that goes to the title of this video. That's the biggest Pokemon investing secret no one wants you to know. But at the same person that will say all this stuff, they will just verbal diarrhea all over your fucking face. Just throwing, like monkeys throwing shit at your face because they don't care. They'll just verbal diarrhea. They'll tell you at the same time that it's so hard to make a business. At the same exact moment, these same people will word for word tell you that modern product will never see it at MSRP again. So what you're saying is that everyone who has distribution, and they've had it from this moment today into foreverness, into perpetuity, into the end of days, every single release, they get to buy modern product at, what, $100 a booster box? And you just told me it's never going to hit MSRP. What is MSRP? $160 a box or whatever, $163 or whatever. Go on PokemonCenter.com. Somebody could quote $164, $165. I don't know what MSRP is. So you're telling me from now until forever, everyone who has distribution, it could sell not at MSRP, because you just told me modern boxes are never going to be MSRP again. You're telling me from now into foreverness that people's distribution accounts are worth 100%, 200%, 300%. Like, you talk about the greatest investment vehicle ever. I mean, people talk about, shout out to Dan and the buckets, guys. You got to do all the buckets first. You got to take your company match and you got to put your money into there, and then you put it into the S&P fund and it's well vested, and then for the next fucking 30 years until you're whatever, before you could collect Social Security, maybe you could start taking out your 401k. So you're telling me that bucket is actually the bad bucket, because what you're telling me, because you think Pokemon will never reach MSRP again, so then distribution is the greatest Pokemon. It's not the greatest Pokemon, it's just the greatest investment vehicle of all time, because most people would say you should invest in your 401k first, because your company could, maybe you got a good company. What are some companies? They match 100% for your first 3%, and then for your next 3%, maybe they'll do 50%. So what is that? That's 4.5%. You put in 6%, they match 4.5%. 1% for that, they match that first 3%, and then the other, 3%, it's 0.5%. So then it equals out the 4.5. You put in 6%, you get back 4.5. That seems pretty good, but you're telling me Pokemon is 100%. I put in $100 and then I instantly get $100 back at every single release from now until foreverness? Well, that's what people are telling you, because they told you you will never see MSRP again. Never, never till the end of days, because Pokemon is the best. So you're telling me having distribution. And guess what? That is the biggest Pokemon secret. They don't want you to know. Why? Because it's the largest barrier of entry. There's the most things in between you and that person, because you have to do so many things in order to just apply for distribution. You have to become a company. You have to do your taxes. You have to have a federal employee tax identification number. You have to apply through your state, depending on what you are, whether you're an LLC, whether you're an corporation or whatever. You're gonna have to file. You're gonna have to do all this stuff. It is the most barriers to entry for the average person, and that's why I told you the normal person, the retention will drop off, because everyone out there will already know this, but they will be like, PK, it will be a cold day in hell before I do that. I would rather spend every fucking waking moment of my life sitting, watching the Rattle Discord, waiting for Target and Sam's Clubs and Walmart and Pokemon Center. I would rather wait for those drops to happen and pay full MSRP. Do you think Target and Walmart and Sam's Club and Pokemon Center and every other you think none of those companies are making money? Shout out to Son of Mewtwo. I appreciate you for all the PK memberships. You think all those companies, they are not making money? So what is it? What's the whole point of this video? What am I getting at? I'm just going to give you an example. This is the phone call that happens. You guys want to know what really expensive consulting calls look like in this Pokemon hobby? So there's different types of Pokemon consulting calls. There's one type of phone call that you go, hello, hey, you're paying me a lot of money to answer all your questions right now. And then people are like, should I trade my 151 Pokemon Center ETB? I have an option to pick up a couple Mega Evolutions booster boxes. PK, should I do this? That is one phone call. But then, that is people that waste your time. And then there's another phone call that says, hey, I'm really looking at Pokemon right now. I'm a business. I have all this. I have this much money I want to put into the hobby. What should I be doing? Where should I be tackling most? And then I go, hey, you need to be getting distribution, because that is going to be your best option. Okay, thanks, PK. Anything else? Nah, no, that's about it. Okay, well, thank you for your time. Here's your check. Click. Well, what's happening right now? Do you want to know what everybody talks about this, and that's the thing, and but it doesn't make good content. Everybody wants to say, have you seen Paldean Fates? Or not Paldean Fates. What? Paradox Rift. What was it? Paradox Rift was the most recent buyout. I think Paradox Rift was the most recent buyout. PK, did you see there was 80 booster boxes of Paradox Rift? I think it was Paradox. Yeah, there was 80 boxes of Paradox Rift on TCG Player, got bought out, and then it changed the market price. Okay. Do you think that's where people that have infinite money, there's people entering this hobby there's no such thing as infinity money, but trust me, for the sake of today's video, there is infinity money, or at least people entering into this hobby that has money that to me is make-believe. Like, for me, a lot of money used to be $1 million, just arbitrary. Remember when you were a kid and you watched Austin Powers and, Dr. Evil would say, $1 million, and then he said, I want 100 bazillion quadrillion number, but it's like nobody really has like what is a lot of money in this hobby. But now that I've seen what does a really lot of money, it's way more money than I have. It's way more money than the person that's saying, did you see Paradox Rift got bought out? It's way more. But like, that's it. Everybody will like look to secondary market indicators, which TCG Player, what is that? It's the definition of secondary market. Like, it is the most least barrier of entry you could ever get to. It's like, do people think this is where the smart money is deploying their money? It's like, but I get it. And listen, and next week, I'm going to start quoting TCG player charts. I promise you. It's the easiest low-hanging fruit to make content. And I promise you, once today's video is over, I'm going right back to it. I'm going to go right back to it because it's easy. It's easy to go talk about secondary market prices. Do you think that the people deploying the most capital in this hobby, do you really think that is where they want to deploy their capital? Is the least barrier of entries? It's like, I want to deploy my money at full secondary market values. Like, just honestly, for just a split second, just pretend you actually have money, like a lot of money, where you're like, hey, if I had all the money in the world, I'm going to deploy it buying on TCG player, where I can't even be tax exempt because it's broken. Do you think that's where you want your money? Like, honest, I mean, just for a second, just pretend. But listen, next week, I'm going right back. I'm going to show the TCG player charts. Maybe by the end of this video, when people forget what I said at the beginning of the video, maybe by the time we get to the end, I'll do that again. I'll do it again. Maybe I'll throw up a TCG player chart. Maybe I will throw up ZNG's Instagram, and I'm going to look at what the most current market prices are of graded singles, because these shits are sold on fucking eBay.com, the largest worldwide selling platform in the entire world, and everybody else is second. There's nobody number one except for eBay. And you know what? I'm going to show ZNG before the end of the day. And shout out to James, I think on his story early, unfortunately, I think I'd already deleted, he had the Hollow Mew from Celebrations. I think it cracked like $830 in a PSA 10. Not just the gold Mew, number 25 out of 25. I think like number 11 out of 25, the regular Hollow, finally cracked $830. But you know what? I'm going to show that because that is just the lowest hanging fruit. And people will never understand this. And you know what? Investors out there, the people with the biggest brains, and the people that sit there and they think about Pokemon non-stop, and they can't stop thinking about Pokemon, and they're like, PK, I fucking wake up, I eat my Fruit Loops, and I brush my teeth in the morning, and I think about Pokemon, and I think about what is the best buy, what is the next single that's gonna pop, what is the next booster box that's gonna pop, wait, how much is the supply of this, and this, and this, and this, and they don't have distribution, and they do not buy booster boxes at $100 at release and instantly sell into the market at double, because it's the biggest barrier of entry, and that's it. Now, what do you think is happening in the background? Do you want to know where the real big dollar amount, the big institutional money, do you know where it's actually really secretly going in the background, and you don't know because you're a little fucking Timmy piece of shit? And I'm going to tell you right now, get ready. Listen, do you know what people are doing right now? They're going after people who have the largest distribution accounts. And do you know what they're doing? They are acquiring these companies. Why? Because they value that. They value their connections, and they value that distribution, and they are absorbing them. And that is where the big money is actually going. And you don't know it. You are a fucking idiot because you don't know it, because you don't see it, because everyone else out there is actually really doing this hobby, and you do not see it, and they are gonna make sure. And I know for 100,000%, and I know the people that recently got bought up, and you do not know. Do you want to know why? Because they don't want you to know. And I know for a 1,000,000,000%, and I know who has been bought up recently. I know which big distribution people have been bought up, and they got a lot of money for that. And that is the title of this video, and you know what? I can't even tell you if I wanted to, because it's a secret. It's a secret. Because the people that don't want you to know don't want me to tell, and I can't make them mad. Think about that. I can't tell you. I want to tell you. I bet if you really dug deep, maybe you could find out who they are. But I can't tell you. You know why? Because if I tell you, I will be out. I will be out of the club. I will no longer be allowed in the club. They'll say, did you hear that PK did this? I don't sign non-disclosures. I didn't sign it. My name's not on the line. But if I told you right now today, I would be out of the club. Because people would be so mad at me if I started talking about that stuff. The biggest Pokemon secret, they don't want you to know. I know exactly who and which companies sold, and they would rock your freaking world right now if you knew what was really going on. That is the biggest secret, and I can't tell you because I'll be out. I'll be completely out of the group. There you go. That's the biggest secret. And I know the big money that is hunting these accounts, and I know the dollar amounts that they are throwing at people. And there are some people out there that are selling. And they're big names. They're really big. And they are so big that you already know them. You know the names. They're household names. I would be able to tell you the name and you'd be like, they're not owned by that person. No, they're not owned by that person anymore. And you would be like, I had no clue. And you're not supposed to know. You are not supposed to know. That is the biggest Pokemon investing secret. And maybe people out there will figure it out. But they won't. You know why? Because the people that know, they don't want you to know. You know what they do want you to do? They want you to pull up TCG Player. And they want to look at the Paradox Rift. And that, but that, you know that? I'm going to be honest with you. The Paradox Rift, 80 booster boxes selling or whatever, the secondary market, the least barrier of entry, that is where they want you to look. But you're also the same person, but that's it. The hobby is blinded. It's blinded. It's blinded. It's so blind. It's so blind. It's blind. It's a blind bleed in the blind. They don't want to know. Nobody really wants to know. And that's the biggest secret. Dan's talked about this in the past. Dan talks about, and he's kind of not talked about this, but he's talked about, so you're telling me that, or I'm going to probably misquote Dan a little bit, but Dan said, so you're telling me that my distribution account, and this is me talking as Dan, what he says in his video, so you're telling me that my distribution account for doing nothing is worth $100,000 a year. I think that's something like that. The words that he used. Well, what do you mean it's worth $100,000? It's like, so you're just telling me that forget about leaving my kids money. You're telling me I could just leave them generational wealth from now until forever? And it's like, well, what did Dan do? It's like, well, Dan created distribution at a time where no one else wanted product, sold on Troll and Toad, which the people entering the hobby today don't even know what Troll and Toad is. They're like, Troll and Toad? What the fuck is this guy talking about? Does he mean TCG Troll and Toad? That's not even a website. You go ahead. Go type in trollandtoad.com and they have a little, oh, this thing doesn't exist anymore. It's like, PK, what is PK talking about? Because people will enter. But Dan's talked about that. It's like, so you're telling me that just by having distribution, because he built it through the Toad through the Evo program and sold product for very little bit of money. So it's like, so what you're just telling him, everybody out there who is saying product will never be MSRP again forever, because even though it was 9 months ago, but we're not allowed to talk about things that happened not even a year ago. So 9 months is not a year, it's 9 months. It's anything pre 9 months is the past, and the future will never be like that again. And Mega Evolutions obviously was expensive at release, and Destiny Rivals was expensive at release, and Black and White was expensive, and then we have to go all the way back to what, Twilight Masquerade, maybe Surgeon Sparks, PK. But you're telling me from, yeah, it's Surgeon Sparks kind of, but yeah, everything from now until forever. I mean, look at this, PK. Coming up next is Phantasmal Forces. That's going to be way more than MSRP, so you could buy booster boxes at $100. And what are they going to be? PK, Phantasmal Forces, I'm thinking $300 a booster box. Where'd you get that number? I don't know, PK. I stuck my hand up my ass and I pulled it out, and I had a 300 in my hand. Here you go. It's like, okay, so, and then they're like, well, what do you think about after that, Kimmy? Well, PK, I think Phantasmal's going to be a 300 because there's a Charizard, and there's a gold Charizard in there, and then after that, we're going to come up very close to the 30th anniversary. We're not there yet. Well, what do you think the 30th anniversary? Well, you know what, PK? I think it's going to sell out instantly on Pokemon Center, and I think prices of it is going to be double MSRP, triple, I don't know. So you're just saying anybody that has distribution and can pick up for $100 a box, when do you see this ending? Well, you don't understand, PK. We are never going to see MSRP again. Do you understand that MSRP, that is still more money than anyone has ever sold that in the large majority of history? What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense, PK. You're saying if you're selling at MSRP, you are losing money if you have distribution. No, Timmy. If you are selling at MSRP with distribution, you are still making the most money ever. Because the large majority of this hobby, you can't make money at release. And to sell at MSRP was a pipe dream. That is fugazi. That is fake. That's make-believe. The MSRP is manufactured, suggested retail price. And the reality is maybe you would pick up booster boxes for $100. And if you were lucky on a good release, like a good release, maybe you make $125, $130. But MSRP at the time was $143. And now MSRP is $164. That is a fake number. You make so much money. Huh? But everything is coming out at $250. So what does that mean? Well, that means you are not only just making the most money ever, but then you are adding a $100 bill on top. And then people look at you like, what? Yes. So that is the most, but that's it. So now I say all this. But it's the biggest barrier of entry. It's the biggest jump from waiting in line at Pokemon Center to get their one Pokemon Center ETB to doing all the things that are required to get to distribution. But then it goes back to what I say, and then people say, but PK, you can't get distribution. Like online accounts, you gotta be brick and mortar, you gotta do this, you can't apply, you can't. And it's like, can you? Can you? Because you probably can. And it's like, wait, you can still get distribution in October 2025, PK? No, you can't. Yes, you can. Really? Well, what do I gotta do? You gotta buy a lot of shit that other people don't want. Oh. I gotta spend $3,000 to get one case of ETBs? You do. Oh. Shit. I don't want to do that. I don't want to build it. Sounds like a hell of a barrier of entry, PK. Well, it's a barrier of entry. Forever's a long time there, Timmy. Ooh, I know. So you're saying I have to spend $3,000 and I might get a case of ETBs? Yes. You gotta spend $3,000. Get a case of ETBs. And they're like, I was in, but now I'm out. I'm just gonna go back to the Real Discord. I'm gonna sit in the live chat. I'm gonna have a conversation. And I'm gonna talk. I'm going to wait for Pokemon Center, and I'm going to hope Target restocks, and I'm going to hope Walmart restocks, and I'm going to hope that Sam's Club drops a new bundle. I'm going to really pray. I gotta listen to this, PK. I got a Sam's Club membership. I got a Costco membership. I got a BJ's membership. Wink, wink. Good for you. I got a Pokemon Center membership. I got the Walmart Plus thingy membership. I got a Target Red Card, PK. I follow all this shit. Hey, good for you, buddy. High five. See you later. High five. High five. Guess what I did? I got a lot of booster bundles, PK. I got a lot of 3-pack blisters. I got poster collections, and I got this, and I got that. And I am doing so well. You are doing so well. High five. Yeah. How many prismatic ETVs you got? PK, I got 15 of those babies. Oh, shit. What did you pay for your prismatic ETVs, PK? Every single one of those bitches I got at $59.99. Holy shit. You are doing really good. High five. Dude, fucking killing it. You are killing it. You are the fucking best. Good for you, dude. Good for you. Thank you, PK. I really try really, really hard. Hey, man. Good job. That is this hobby. You know what? Channels aren't going to ever talk about this. You know why? Because it's not fun. This isn't fun. This is a boring ass conversation. PK's telling me I got to be a business. I gotta employ a tax identification number. What? So I can pay taxes, PK? Taxes. Taxes. Playoffs? We're talking playoffs. We're talking taxes. Come on, PK. Be honest. Be real with yourself. Be real. I know that Pokemon is never going to be MSRP again, or at least that's what I'm always told. I'm talking as Timmy. It will never be MSRP again. But you will never want it for cheap. No. PK, I think all the institutional money is buying on TCG player at full market. Look at me. That's it. Again, I'm just repeating myself at this time, but like, that's where people honestly think institutional money is buying. It's Paradox Rift or whatever is the hot. Look at this buyout of this card. It's like a PK. Did you see the you see the Marshadow? It's got a Pikachu on there. I think, BlackRock. What do you think about? You think it's BlackRock, PK? You think it's BlackRock behind all this market manipulation? You see this IR, you see all the megas went crazy. You see Gengar VMAXs have gone up. Pikachu with Great Felt Hat, PK. PK, do you think it's when you PK, come here, let me tell you a secret. When you think when you say institutional money's hopping and you talk about the Pikachu with Great Felt Hat buying on eBay at full market value, right? You see that? $2,800 for that. In a 10, you were right, PK. Institutional money is in there. Look at that. They're buying PSA 10s. You think they're the ones buying the Moonbryons? Paying full market value at the time. You think they're building positions of 2,000-3,000? It's institutional. You know what? You were right, PK. I didn't see it, but you're right. I'm looking at the market, and I'm looking at all the full prices, and it's got to be people with just a lot of money. They're buying up all this, and they're sitting on it, right? Right? They're not searching out the getting big businesses built around them, right? Or no, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Hey, doing great. You're doing great. You're doing right. You're doing just fine. You're doing just fine. It's them. You're right. That's the people doing that. Maybe it's not the people buying money or buying product from distribution at release and just putting it away instantly. Because people would say, well, I want distribution. Let's just pretend. It's hard for a lot of people to pretend because they're going to say, PK, what about TCG Player? Let's just pretend TCG Player doesn't exist. Let's pretend eBay doesn't exist. If I gave you $1 million and said, go buy me Pokemon product as an investment, because now I'm going to give you money to buy it for me with the intention of investing money. Where are you going to deploy my $1 million? Are you going to deploy my $1 million at full market value? Probably you might, and that is scary. But you would probably say, oh, I got $1 million. I need to buy this shit from distribution at release. And people talk about, and this is why it's the title, the biggest Pokemon secret they don't want you to know. People will talk about, again, I hate it, and next week I swear we're going to go back to it. Dollar cost average, because that is the low-hanging fruit. Dollar cost average, and I love to say it. I love to, because it's easy, but it's the biggest farce. Dollar cost average, what does that mean? It's just a sucker's fucking sentence. I'm sorry. Dollar cost average is just my way of saying buy at any price, and if it goes down, you just keep buying. Why? Because you never got in at the cheapest price. And dollar cost average just means you're always going to pay more. If the box is $250, it's easy for me. It's the sucker's sentence. It's the sucker sentence, dollar cost, because that means at $250 it drops. If the market crashes to $200, you dollar cost average and you have a lower average. If it drops down to $150, you got a lower. You know what? It's probably going to take a lot for it to drop down to $95, which is distribution prices. So we'll tell you that. because it's the easy one. And next week, unfortunately, I'm going back to it. I'm gonna go back, and people are gonna write a sentence, and they're gonna say, well, what should I do? Should I buy Mega Evolutions at this price, PK? And I'll say, and you know what I'm gonna do next week? I'm gonna say, you know what, it probably makes sense to, if you want to pick up a couple booster boxes at whatever Mega Evolutions is, 3+100, I'm gonna say, yeah, you could probably pick a couple. And then if the market prices drop, and you know what I'm gonna tell them, you could buy a couple more and you dollar cost average in. And I'm sorry. What I want to say is you got to buy it at 95. But then people will be like, I can't buy it at 95 PK, and I'm going to go back to dollar cost average because it's the biggest suckers. But it goes back to, if I gave you $1 million and say, deploy my money, and I want sealed modern, you're going to say, well, I'm going to buy it at distribution, because there's no such thing as dollar cost averaging into distribution. You have a base floor price, and then you never hear people say, well, I buy at distribution and then I just dollar cost average into distribution. What do you buy in at 95, and maybe your distributor fire seals some boxes to you at 75? We're not in the market of fire sealing Paradox Rift booster boxes to people at 75, but what is dollar cost averaging in at distribution, right? If I had a lot of money to give you, that is where you would deploy my money. If you were deploying my money on TCG Player, buying at full market, or going on eBay and buying at full market, we would have a rough business relationship. I want you to deploy my money where there's the most barrier of entries. And that's it. The most barriers of entry are getting product at distribution. And do you know why that is the biggest barrier of entry? Because it's impossible. And I love impossible. I love that phrase is impossible. Every single person, every sneaker deeker, as Rattle likes to call them, standing in Walmart lines, I love that it's impossible for all them to get distribution. And every single person, it's impossible. Everyone can't do it. And they'll never be able to do it. And it will always be, at the end of the day, it will be the key. It will be the key to everybody's salvation, and the rich will always get richer, and that is just it. Dan talks about it all the time. We are all playing in the same arena, but everyone is playing a different game. And you know what? You can still do just fine playing your game. And you know what? And you want to know the biggest Pokemon investment secret they don't want you to know? Even if you never get distribution, and you are not a business, and you are not a LLC, however you are, and if you don't have a business bank account, and you've never applied, and you don't have all this shit that is required, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because you can still get your piece. And if you are active and you're engaged in this hobby, you can still make money. And you can still invest in sealed modern. And we're like, at what price, PK? Market. You can still invest. And do you want to know how many people right now, today, where we stand right now, are buying modern product at release at market price? MARKET, market price. How many people are buying right now today at market for long-term holds? Long-term meaning 5 to 10 years. Do you know how many people are doing that right now today? Buying because they think, well, at release, market price is the best price, PK. Have you fucking seen the goddamn hobby? Have you seen it right now today? Market price long term is the best. And they will tell you that they are savants. They are geniuses. And you know what? They are probably right, because there's still money to be had for them. Market price, there's still, I just told you could buy booster boxes for 100, and they will be fucking happy if they could pick them up at release. Mega Evolutions at 220. they will be happy and they'll say, look at how good I am, PK. I bought my Mega Evolutions at $220. Who's better than me? Have you seen the prices lately? This guy. I'm the fucking Pokemon investing genius of all time. God damn it, PK was right. The big money is coming and they're buying it up. Thank God for the big institutional money. The greatest Pokemon investor of all time. I bought my Mega Evolutions boxes at $220. Have you seen how much money I made? I bought my Destined Rivals. You know what I bought in at, PK? Everyone said I was crazy. I bought it at $240. High five! Yeah, dude, $240. You are a dirty dog. You. Congratulations, PK. I know. I was nervous at $240. I sat there and I twiddled my thumbs and I said, you know what? $240. That's so much money. Thank God, PK. I'm so happy. I bought it at $240. I'm the greatest fucking Pokemon investor who ever lived because I bought my booster boxes at $240. It's the biggest Pokemon investing secret they don't want you to know. The biggest secret that nobody talks about, because it's the biggest barrier of entry, and it makes a really, really boring video. I can't make a video every week doing this. This would be a worst channel ever. Get distribution, get a business, do everything on the books. Don't pay taxes when you buy shit on eBay. You should be tax exempt. What do you want? What do you want? This is boring. This is boring conversation. It's boring. You don't get it, PK. It's not that easy. Yeah, but it is. It really is. Yeah, it's not that easy because I have to try. Well, why don't you want to try? You don't understand, PK. I got a lot of answers of why I don't want to try. Trying is hard. I like what I'm doing. I'm doing it pretty good, PK. I bought this PSA 10, and it's doubled overnight. Yeah, it has. I bought these Van Goghs. They double. Yeah, good job. Did this. But it goes back to what Dan says. So there will be people out there will swear that Pokemon booster boxes will never hit MSRP forever. They'll die on that grave. There will be people out there that will be in Dan's comment section, and they will tell Dan, Destined Rivals will never be MSRP. They will write that. And then Dan will go on his live and he'll talk about it. And then there'll be people in there that will tell Dan that he's dumb. Because Dan thinks that there is a chance. Not saying Dan is guaranteeing it. Dan thinks there's a chance. People will call Dan dumb. That same person that will call Dan dumb will not have distribution. Dan, who did buy his boxes at 100, he's the dumb one in this equation. But that's a problem. This is the fucking most boring type of content. Like, nobody wants to hear this. It's boring. It's boring. It's too much. There's so many barriers of entry. It's like, come on, PK. Just stop. Just stop. And the problem is that really, when you talk about what the true end of days is, everyone already knows this. They're not spouting gospel. It's like everyone's like, fuck yeah. PK's right. He's right. And there's people out there and they're like, if I could pick up Phantasmal Flames from PokemonCenter.com, you know what, PK? If I could pick up a booster box at full MSRP, I would like to buy it so I could put it in my long-term investment. So, and it's like, you know what? And if it goes down, and then they're going to be like, dollar cost average. And they'll go, God damn it. Didn't PK just rant about dollar cost average? And I'll go, yes. Yes, I did. And they'll go, damn it. Yeah. Okay. Where would you rather dollar cost average in? Would you rather dollar cost average in at 95 to 75, or would you rather cost in at dollar cost average at 240 to 320 to 260 to 220, back down to 160 and 150, and then 220 and 260 and 300, and then who knows where else? It's like, do you want to be that dollar cost average? You want to be the guy that's dollar cost averaging at 95, and then a reprint comes and they dollar cost back averaging. Most of the time they've been going up like 110. So they originally bought in at 95 for distribution, and then the second wave came and it was 110, and they actually dollar cost averaged up. And then maybe if it gets reprinted again, like which one of those people, which in that story of dollar cost average, which one do you want to be? And it's like, God damn it. God damn it. It's like, I know for a fact the people with the big accounts, they've been trying to get bought out. Like Dan asked the question, it's like, it's his generational wealth. Like, but Dan, God forbid, if Dan dies tomorrow, in his will, does he leave his distribution accounts? Does he leave them to his kids? Is that the best? Like, forget people talk about Bitcoin or the S&P or 401ks or whatever. It's like, forget about all those investment properties. It's like, forget about all that. Like, it's the best thing that Dan could leave to his kids is it just his distribution. So it would just be worth whatever it's worth from now until forever, because he's already locked in at the amount of product he gets. Like, is that it? Is that the biggest thing? And then his kids, when he passes, like, they just could, whatever distribution is, they just pay whatever the price is, and then they get it, and then they instantly make a phone call to my kids or Rusty's kids in the future or whoever else's kids in the future, and just like, hey, I'm gonna dump all this product to you at one point, and I'm gonna do this a couple times a year, and you pay me double what I paid for it. And my kids and Rusty's kids or whoever's kids are just like, oh yeah, thanks. Oh yeah, sure, you got a couple hundred booster boxes, I'll buy them all for double what you paid. And they just make that phone call 6 times a year. Like, is that it? Is that when people talk about generational wealth, like, is that it? It's like generational wealth just becomes his kids just 6 times a year get to pick up a phone call and instantly it's like, oh yeah, I bought in all these booster boxes and then I picked up the phone call and I sold it for double. Because there are people out there, and you don't believe this, but there's people out there in the chat right now who thinks that that's like forever, that Pokemon will always be expensive. So is that it? No matter Mr. Buckets himself, his greatest investment ends up actually being a Pokemon, and the thing he gets to leave to his kids forever. That's it. Maybe that's it. But like, there will be people out there that will tell me PK Pokemon will never be MSRP. I'll be like, God damn it, how big's your distribution account? I'll be like, I don't have distribution. PK will laugh in my face like I'm on crack. I'm like, you just told me everything, nothing's ever going to be MSRP. And no, it's not, PK. So what are you doing about that? Oh, I'm not doing anything. It's like, okay, you're not doing anything. Oh, no, no. I'm like, but do you really believe what you just told me? Do you honestly believe that nothing will ever be MSRP again? And they're like, yeah, I believe it. Duh. Well, go buy boxes at $100. Oh, nobody's selling them at $100. No, that's not what I'm saying. Go get the boxes. Go get them from distribution, bro. You just told me nothing's ever going to be MSRP again. Go get them. Go get them. I don't know, PK. That sounds like a lot of work. Holy shit. You think this is fake? It's not fake, I swear. It's all real. That is a real conversation that could be had. You guys think it's crazy? It's real. There'll be somebody who will say it will never do that, but they won't do anything about it. And it goes to the title of this video. That's why it's the biggest Pokemon investment secret. They don't want you to know, and that's why there's never been videos like this before. There's been nobody just laying it out like this. And like I told you, I know who is buying these accounts. I know. And it's a secret because I can't tell you. I can't tell you. It's a secret. Shh. Jonathan Flint, we're going to the top of the chat. Jonathan Flint says, eyeballs PK. Jonathan Flint, happy to see you, Mr. Flint. I appreciate you hopping in. It's Thursday PK rant. I wasn't live yesterday. You guys have missed me. You've missed the unhingedness, which are rants that I do. Can't stop, won't stop. We got Big Gulp Lapras. What's good, chat? So Pokebondo said a little week off. Unfortunately, it was a day off on last Thursday, but I still streamed. I streamed Thursday morning from 11 to 12:30 a.m. and then I streamed from 4 p.m. all the way to midnight because I got caught up in a stream. I wasn't able to end the stream. We got Son of Mewtwo, good to see you. We got RVD rips Pokemon, says PK the GOAT returns, RVD, too kind, Garen M. Speaking of Garen M, people like, PK, when was the last, so Garen M, my last case of Evolving Skies booster boxes from Pokemon Center was thanks to Garen M. My last case of Fusion Strike booster boxes I picked up at PokemonCenter.com. So a case of Evolving Skies booster box is $143.99. Thanks to Garrett M. And then a case of Fusion Strike at $143.99. Both of those cases are due to Garrett M. I owe Garrett M. I would say I owe him a bear, but I owe Garrett M. I owe him a lot more than a bear for that. Both those. But like, people are like, holy shit. Okay, you bought up a case of booster boxes on Pokemon. Yeah, it was like pretty late into it. Shout out to Garen. He was the one that slid into the PK DMs. Was like, hey, by the way, these are back up. This is before the days of the Rattle Discord bots and stuff. See this? Cashmere Fire says, I've totally given up on buying Modern Sealed. What if you could buy them at distribution? And then Cashmere say, you know what, PK, I'm back in the game, but he won't. Because there's a barrier of entry. I'm not throwing shade at you there, Cashmere. I'm just telling you, that is the truth. That is the unfortunate unreality. That is the truth. Tony King of the Ozone. Are there still holes in the ozone? Should I get my hairspray out and start going? Psh. Tony King of the Ozone said, the moderner, the better. The moderner, the better. So, PokeNufo says, why is Brilliant Stars still slept on? Because there's still money to be made. PokeNufo, that's it. Full market. Money to be made buying Brilliant Stars at full market. And I believe it. And I would do it. That's the thing, too. I would still be buying. That's it. That's tomorrow's video. I will buy Brilliant Stars at full market because I think there's still room to run. Why? We booming. We booming. I booming. You booming. We booming. Son of Mewtwo said, PK, I say it louder than the folks. Say it louder for the folks in the back. Son of Mewtwo, I appreciate Katie saying, he's back, baby. We're back. Tony says, 30-year spy for returns. Nah, I'm on the road. The 100K by the end of the year, yeah. Katie said, oh man, I just joined and PK's already heated. I'm always heated, Katie. I just can't help it. Can't help it. Can't stop. Won't stop. Let's see. We got, holy shoot. Son of Mewtwo dropped the PK membership. Jonathan Flint. Jonathan. I didn't even see this. I thought this was still part of Son of Mewtwo's. Holy crap. Jonathan Flint. Bro. Jonathan, thank you, buddy. Jonathan dropped 50 PK memberships in the middle of that epic PK rant. Holy crap, Jonathan. Dude, I thought that was still Son of Mewtwo. I was locked in, Jonathan. Bro, thank you very much, dude. So Jonathan, I think that officially is the most memberships anybody has ever dropped at one point. Dude, Jonathan, huge shout out to you, man. I cannot thank you enough. I appreciate that. Son of Mewtwo says, I eat my Fruit Loops, yeah. Kirby says, it's mostly just crypto money. When crypto crashes, Pokebubble will pop. You know, I could have made the same video in 2020. Was it crypto money then, too? I guess. Bo knows. Bo Jackson, Bo knows. Nate says, PK sounds like Alex Jones right now. Sean says, I think he's lost it. Sean, you don't even know. Sean, I've lost it a long time ago. Bono says, damn, PK, your breath of fresh air. Been laughing at these Poketubers that all say it. Go buy this before it hits a moon while they are still dumping at the top of the channel supporters are created. I don't know, Bonos. Listen, I think the Worst place to have your money right now is in cash. So, Bo, I'm probably not the right person for that. I still think now's the time to buy. We're wrong until we're wrong. That's the problem. That's the problem, Bo. Like, we're wrong until we're wrong. And eventually, we'll be wrong. Fuck if I know. I don't know. What does Scott Pratt always say? Scott Pratt always says, I have 2 balls, and neither one of them are crystal. Bo, I got 2 balls, and neither one of them are crystal. Not know when this crash is going to happen. Maybe it'll happen. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm just riding my rocket to the moon. There's a pony sitting on the back of the rocket. There's a rainbow coming out the back of the pony. I look real funny on this rocket, but I don't care, bro. Bro, I don't care. We're just booming right now. If you guys missed the beginning of this rant, you really should go back. So Katie says PK has officially went from pretend cabal to true cabal. Well, you know what happens. Pokey Finance Guy says, you know how when you see the guy on the street who's talking crazy to you, sense and you look into his eyes. If PK was right now, he's 100% right. Buy distro and control the prices at local card stores and LGSs. Pokey says, PK, are you talking to the camera? I think I'm just talking to the wall right now. I yell at my wall a lot. This wall and me, we are not friends. This wall hates me. My wife is going to go upstairs. My wife's going to be like, were you yelling at your wall again? And I'm going to go, yes, honey. I was yelling at the wall. She's like, everything okay? I'm going to be like, everything's okay. She's like, did the market crash yet? No, honey. The market has not crashed yet. Are we still good? Oh, we are still good. We still booming? She doesn't say that. In fact, my wife says, were you yelling at the wall? And I say yes. And she goes, good night. That's actually really what happens. There's no rest of the conversation. Katie says, so we can play a game called We Guess, and you read answers blinking a certain number of times. It's like the Morse Toad. Nate says Taylor Swift bought it all. Taylor Swift, oh, Travis Kelce, huh? Man, I wonder what that prenup looks like. I don't have any big books. I wish I had a phone book. So people still have phone books. I wish I could pull up a phone book and I would just be like, this is their prenup. Yellow Pages. You guys remember the Yellow Pages? There's somebody out there who is new. And or not new. They're young. They're like in their 20s and they're like, what the hell are Yellow Pages? Once upon a time, Jimmy, when we used to have to call certain businesses, we did not have our phones and we had to pull up the Yellow Pages. Sean says, so is Pokemon going to keep going up or not? Sean, it's going to still go. It's going up, and away. Vintage says, Leonhardt pulling the strings. That's the funny thing about Leonhardt. It's like, everybody's like, you know, Leonhardt owns Rare Candy. It's like, does he? Does he? Does he? Does he? Does he? Come on. Does he? And people be like, yes? Does he really? Who built it? You know what, PK? It was him, right? The guy who was a full-time Pokemon YouTuber, former attorney. Who owns Rare Candy? Come on. Yeah. Come on. Katie says, but does institutional money have a conversation with Mr. Pokemon Company and tell Mr. Pokemon Company how much to print or not to print? That is the question, whether it's nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortunes. Katie, there's a lot. Guru says, Trollin' Toad has been down for weeks. Does it even exist? Is it even a company anymore? Who knows? Let's see. This nerd says, wow, he's compressing everything I've watched in the last 10 months. I don't know if I do that. Let's see. So Katie says, I'm starting to think from this conversation Katie, she's finally on the PK side. Katie says, I'm starting to think from this conversation there's a chance this hobby might possibly have at least a tiny bit of institutional money entered into it. Bo says, why wouldn't they? The rich get richer. Why would they enter the Pokey Finance Guy says, Katie, why would they enter the highest grossing IP in the world? It makes zero sense. That's the thing too, is like people always quote that number, the highest grossing IP. How much of that money is Pokemon? Cards, not Pokemon. People don't know that. They'll quote that number. Pokemon Finance guy will say Pokemon is the highest grossing IP of all time. What percent is Pokemon cards? Is it 50%? No, it's way less than that. Oh, is it 40%? No, less. 30? Nope, less. 25? Less. Go figure it out. Is it 15%? Is it 15% is Pokemon cards? Well, what is it? Is it? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. Go do it. You want to do it? You can go look it up. You can go see how much of the... Everyone always likes to quote that, and so people say it's the biggest grossing IP of all time. But, well, how much of that is Pokemon cards? It's probably not as high as you think. Maybe people think it's greater than 50%. It's not. You want to know what the greatest percentage of the Pokemon shit is? Fucking plushes and the video games. Pokemon cards is not top 2. Like the plushes and the clocks and the watches and the bed sheets and whatever. That's the number 1. Pokemon items. Pokemon cards is not. And then number 2 is video games. Pokemon cards is not number 1. Number 2. So Pokemon says, imagine a big institution bought. Pokemon says, imagine BlackRock bought $10 million of Evolving Skies boxes in 2021. Their investors would be hype right now. The crazy thing is, people say there's no institutional money. You guys know who owns CGC? Maybe Pokebondo said the name of the company right there. Do you know who owns CGC? Everyone knows who owns PSA, Collectors Universe. Do you know who? Go do a little chat. Go pause this video. Go and say, who's the majority investor in CGC, Certified Grading Company? You're going to be like, God damn it. Holy shit, that is the biggest investing company in the world. Yes, it is. Why do you think they had to pay? Oh, no, I'm just... hypothetically, allegedly. Please, 1, 2, please don't sue. I wonder why they would have had to pay out test print cards. I wonder why. Well, I wonder why. If maybe some people are sitting on the board and saying, hey, look at my dick. You need to pay out some of these people. Because there's a lot of money out there. I said too much. Poke Finance guy says we're either witnessing the greatest crash out or the biggest cooking ever on YouTube. Wild how close they can side, you know. It's just, we doing this. So Bo says, how could you possibly get cooked at buying it? Listen, Bo, people say, how can you get cooked buying at MSRP? You can't get cooked. You can't get, or could you? I don't know. So Twin Turbo says, best friend of the year. I've been watching. Who needs Disney Plus when you got this? Who needs Disney Plus? Who needs the wild card? Who needs the Yankees socks, huh? See this? MJ Silver and Gold. Question. Do you think Giovanni SIR is undervalued at $15? MJ, you asked me a $15 question. The amount of time it took you to ask that question for me to get to that answer, just go buy it, man. Who cares? Who cares? It's $15, dude. Go buy them. How many you want? Like, honestly. You want 20 of them? That's $300. How many you want? How many Giovanni's SIRs from 151 do you want? You want 20? You want a position of 20? That's $300. Just go do it. Dude, that's cheaper than a Mega Evolutions booster box. You get 20 SIRs from one of the greatest sets in the history of Pokemon. Like, what? Just do it. Who cares? $15. Fucking Giovanni SIR. Just go buy them. Go buy 20 of them. You want more than that? You want... how many you want? You want 100 of them? Go spend $3,000. How much money you got? Are you rich? You got a ton of money. You don't care. Go buy 100 of them. Who cares? Spend $3,000. Like who cares? It's a $15 card. Stop asking questions about $15 cards. Just buy them. Just buy it. Just buy it. Who cares? It's $15. If $15 is make or break, this is probably not the channel for you, bro. I talk about shit that is crazy. Just buy it. Bo says, think about how small of a market is out there buying 20,000 in booster boxes, let alone cases of 6. Not a lot. And that's it. Fisher says, when crypto investors bros leave this time and dump their pickups for their quick buck, do you think it will hurt them? You think that's what all this money is coming from? Crypto? Fish? You think that's where this money's coming from? All crypto money? Fish, were you around in... You gotta answer this. Bro, were you around in 2020, 2021? Where the fuck did all that money come from? Were you around in 2016 during Pokemon Go? Where did that money come from? Was it crypto in 2021? Where is that money? Do you remember? Does anybody here remember 2020, 2021? Do you guys even remember COVID? I mean this. Do you guys remember that timeline? Do you remember when most of these channels created? Do you remember that? What was all that money? What's all the money? Is it just crypto? Are we just living in the crypto bubble? I don't know. Why is gold so expensive? Is that crypto money? Why the fuck is the stock market at all-time high? Is that crypto money? I don't know. Son of Mewtwo says, PK, what are your thoughts on the Mega Golds going crazy? Beautiful card. Buy them. They're undervalued. Bro, I opened up so much Mega Evolutions. I didn't pull shit for those gold cards. Buy them. Undervalued. Alright, chat. That's it. That's my PK rant. Happy Thursday to everybody. Back to your regularly scheduled program tomorrow. Or next week. Next Thursday. What am I going to tell you next Thursday? I'm going to tell you $2 cost average down. I'm going back to that. We're going to do this. We're going to say, this is Mr. Jim from ZNG Emporium. I'm going to go, oh my god, do you see how much this Mega Charizard sold for? I'm going to go, oh my god, the boom 1 year later. Look at how expensive these are. I'm going to say, chat, can you believe it? A regular unlimited base set trainer. Look at these PSA 10 prices. Maintenance, Revive, Pokemon Center. These, nothing special about these. Are not 99, 2000. They are not Shadowless. They are not first edition. They are just regular. This is going to be it next week. You guys want to know? PK, show me that. What do we need for this boom to stop? We need Ho-Ho V's for fucking Silver Tempest to stop selling for $118 and a 10 a V. This is just the Ho-Ho. What about the Lugia, PK? You don't want to look at the Lugia, chat. It's 200 plus. This is the this is the Mew. January 8th, 2000. You can get your Mew promo at your Toys R Us Pokemon Center. This is the Catch Mew. This is the insert that came with like the Black Star promo number 4, 5, 6, like the Pikachu, the first Pokemon, the first movie, the Pikachu, the Dragonite, the Arcanine. That's what this is. This is not the sealed pack. This is just the freaking this is the insert you're looking at right now. There's nothing special about what's on your screen right now. This is the insert that came with that sealed pack. This is not the card that is in the pack. Blaine's Last Stand from Dragon Majesty. Do you remember when this was a $1 card? Well, this $1 card is now $300 in a 10. Lost Origin pre-release stamped staff promo from Lost Origin. Stamped staff promo. $4,700. Legendary Collection. Gengar Hollow. $14,000. Remember Evolving Skies? Alt Arts, everything was cheap. You remember when PokeRep once upon a time said he thought this Umbreon V was undervalued? Just regular Vs, not VMAXs, just regular Vs. Evolving Skies, we booming. Where are we at now? This the $1 million hat. James, you need to put more post so I could steal your content. Are we still? Has there been any more black labels? I don't know. I don't care. Gengar tax? I mean, come on, chat. Come on. Then we'll talk about Modern tomorrow, or next week. We'll say, do you see this Charizard? I love this Charizard. Listen, this Charizard's a beauty. He's a beauty. She's a beauty, Clark. Look at that Mega Charizard right there. You got two Mega Charizards. You got the Charmeleon. Got the cute little Charmander laying on his back with his little belly right there. I'd rub that belly. Look, I'm touching my screen. I'm rubbing that belly for good luck. Is it a beautiful card? Hell yeah. Do I want it? Fuck yeah. Do I think it's going to be expensive? Hells to the yes. Do I think Phantasmal is going to be a cheap booster box? Hell no. We booming? We booming. We booming. That's back. That'll be next week. I'll give you guys one. We could talk about I'll make a great video for next week. Maybe I'll give you some good titles that'll get a lot of clicks. Our Pokemon Center 151 or 151 Pokemon Center ETBs a goodbye question mark. Oh man, that'd be a great video. You want me? I know how to get the views. Pokemon Center 151 ETBs a goodbye question mark. Pokemon Center ETBs, are they a good buy? Should you buy Mega Evolutions booster boxes right now today? Should you buy Destined Rivals? Is Destined Rivals gonna get a reprint? Question mark. Is the market gonna crash? Question mark. Do I fucking care? Question mark. Probably not. Alright, with that said, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. This is me. I gotta be nice on Fanatics Live. I gotta be nice. Can't go crazy. I'll tell you what I'm doing. You guys want to know what I'm doing? You guys still made it? Is anybody still here after an hour and 9 minutes? You guys want to know what I'm doing right now? I said it last week. I am so over leveraged. I am over leveraged to my eyeballs. I do not want any cash. You know what I'm doing? I am just buying right now. And you know what I've been doing? Just buying. And I've been selling too, but oh my god, I am buying. My god, am I been buying. I just been buying. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing is buying. Just, when this, listen, the most money that's ever coming in is coming in right now, and you want to know what? The most money that's ever going out is going out right now. You guys want a top signal? There you go. There's your top signal. PK's buying. What am I buying? Everything. I think everything's a good buy right now. And the problem is because you just get over-rewarded over and over again. Until you just don't. It will eventually happen. But it's like, when? You'll be rewarded till you won't. And then what happens? Well, what happens? Do I go, what happens? What's the crash look like? I don't know. I'm just not caring. Thank God I'm gonna crash and burn right now. I'm gonna freaking burn. I'm gonna burn, baby, burn. Whatever this is, when this ends, what do I do? But like, do I end in a better position than I ever could imagine? Like, we are in make-believe land. I've talked to a lot of my friends every time. You know what? I want to hear. This is my phone calls with my friends in this hobby. Hey, this doesn't seem real, right? Yeah. You think we're just gonna eventually, it's all gonna catch up? Yeah, I thought that too. How much did you spend last week? All your money. Yes, me too. I spent all my money last week. How do you think it matters? Nah, it doesn't matter. All right. That's what my phone calls with my friends are like. It's just, I'm like, do you have any money right now? Because I don't. And they're like, I don't got any money either, PK. Nobody's got any money. Guru says, what? And where are you buying? It changes hour to hour, minute to minute, day to day, week to week. Hell if I know. Buying everything, whatever I can buy. Anybody that wants to slide into my DMs, you guys want to sell me anything at fucking 75% of the market, I'm buying. I'm buying. Just keep sending them to me. I'll keep buying it. I'll crash and burn. Thank God I bought 75% of the market a couple months ago, a couple years ago. Keep buying, keep doing it. Eventually I'll crash and burn. Don't really. But then I buy at some shit, I buy at 100% of market. Let's see. What have been recent buys? Burger Chews. Buying Burger Chews. What were Burger Chews? $20? $20? What were Burger Chews? $20? I got a big play working. That's not a big play. I got a play. I don't want to share anything right now because everything's like, I'm in the middle of shit right now. That's it. The biggest Pokemon investment secret they don't want you to know is anything. That's the secret. They don't want you to know anything. I don't want you to know anything. Nobody wants to know anything. Dollar cost average. Dollar cost average. That's it. I should do that more. I'd be a fucking 20,000 subscriber channel. Just telling you guys a dollar cost average. With that said, I hate you all. Nah, that's not true. I really do like 80% of you. 20% of you. God, I fucking hate you. Bye.